Fire him up. I'm worried about the microphone. Oh, there he is. Oh, hello. Okay. I've been waiting to do this. All right, declare this meeting of the Lancaster County Broadband Authority on 12 January 2023. Happy New Year to all. We are now open. Okay, I would ask for public comment. There's nobody here, but anybody on the line.
We have an attendee, they're not raising their hand, so I don't know if they can speak or not.
Okay, so that's,
Now they've raised their hand.
okay, just please, whoever's on the line, identify yourself and then proceed.
Hi, my name is Ed DeFreitas. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, thank you.
Great. I just was after an update on All Points work in the county.
We're going to be covering a status report on Breeze Line and All Points. So stay with us, and we will address each one as they come up on the agenda. Is that okay with you?
That's great, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling in. Anybody
Okay.
else, Glenn? Oh, excuse me, sir, could you spell your last name?
DEFREITAS.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else, Glenn? Okay. Next on the agenda is the approval of minutes that Michelle submitted. Any questions, comments? Okay, if there are no comments, I move that approvals as submitted by Michelle be approved.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So approved. All right, Nicholas, on to you. And as we have them listed, APB, where are we with All Points?
APB is, they should be starting construction shortly, next, either the end of this quarter or the beginning of the next quarter. We had a call with Northern Neck PDC a couple weeks ago, and the update that APB provided really wasn't much, except that everything's going on schedule, and they're anticipating that they might complete early. They're anticipating to complete early, provided there's no major setbacks in the procurement or any other delays that are unforeseen to them. The main reason for this is that I guess Dominion is making great progress with the middle mile, and that should speed things up for them, providing the last mile kind of construction. So hopefully we'll see construction with APB doing the last mile in Lancaster County shortly.
All right.
Breeze Line.
Oh, excuse me, just a minute, Nicholas. Sir, did you, online, were you able to hear what Nicholas said about APB?
Yes, I saw, we've got, Dominion came and they've hung broadband cable all the way down the streets in our neighborhood a few months ago. And I was just surprised we hadn't seen any progress after that.
Well, I mean, can't speak for them, but I'm anticipating what happened is, what's not happened, what's going on is Dominion's is really building out the fiber for their own internal needs, and then they're providing extra fibers for broadband. Their network part of it has to get completed first before APB can come in and start doing their part.
I see.
I think they're waiting for, they're not waiting, but I guess they're waiting for Dominion to give the green light to go into certain, these areas.
I see. Thank you.
Welcome, Ed.
Right.
And Nicholas, from the SCC filings, that's consistent with what has been represented the whole time, that Dominion was going to build out the middle mile first, and then the APB would start from there.
Did you hear that, Nicholas?
No, I heard that they're going to, Dominion's going to do this.
The plan, I think that according to all the filings with the SCC, when they had their approval of their petition, Dominion reported that they would complete the middle mile, and then APB would start the final mile to the
Yeah.
homes. So that's consistent with what the plan was.
Yes, and I mean, and once the fiber's up, I mean, there's a lot of work that has to go on behind the scenes, to make the fiber useful, to extend it and go to customers, right? So we will see when I did a VATI update with the Breeze Line, you'll see that there's certain things that are being held up, certain areas that are being held up. They're in the testing stage. So once the fiber's placed, then there's the splicing stage, and then there's testing to make sure that everything is up to the specifications that it needs to be. And then if not, then people have to go back out there and test it, and it has to be recertified. So it could be a laborious process and take some time, but it's actually better to do it up front now that customers are on board later experiencing problems. So
That's true.
so like I said, we should see that they were very confident that they should be starting construction soon, and that their completion date should be pushed ahead in Lancaster County from originally anticipated.
That's good. Okay, Breeze Line.
Okay, so the Valley update, we're moving along really well. Breeze Line has asked DHCD for an extension of the grant, just for a couple of months. It really doesn't have anything to do with our county as much as maybe a couple other counties. And they don't really think they're going to need the extension. They'll think they'll finish up the grant in time, but they just want to make sure DHCD agree, just to ask for extension, just to you know, cover all bases. So make sure, because if you ask for, it's easier to ask for time ahead, then obviously the grant needs to be closed out. But we are the one, I want to say disappointed, I'm disappointed anyway, that there's 23 customers in Lancaster County that are in the Valley areas that are in service, new customers, and 13 are pending. I've been kind of on their back every week on a call that, you know, we need to see more customers getting signed up. There's been a lot of releases to the sales and marketing group of areas that are completed now and tested and certified, and we should be seeing more customers. They acknowledge it, and they actually have people out on the street knocking on doors or putting door hangers. You know, people being seasonal doesn't help, because if they're not there, then they're putting door hangers on, but still, if they're not there, they're not getting a door hanger. But hopefully we'll be seeing more activity as far as customers being actually put to service. We have one area of Beach Cove Villas in Windjammer Lane. It was, for all practical purposes, complete, and then the homeowners association had requested that a piece of equipment be relocated 1,000 feet away or something like that. I really don't know the specific why they wanted it, but but Breeze Line is working on it. And once again, because it's a change to something that was already tested and approved, now it has to go, once it gets done, then it has to go to the technical operations group for recertification. And they're expecting it to go to that group next week. So hopefully within a couple of weeks, that area of Beach Cove Villas and Jimmer Lane will be ready for customers.
That'd be a good number. That'd be a
Yes.
good number of people if they finish that one. Good.
And then we have another area, which is Terry Point and Whitestone, which is what they identify as area number 3. And that should be released by two technical operations for testing and certification by the end of this week, by tomorrow. And then once that's done, then it will be released to marketing for customer service. And then we have two other areas, Black Stump Road and Nugent Road. And right now, there was an issue with some fiber splicing. It was supposedly fixed. It went back to be tested. They found some other reasons to go back out there and send the splicers back out there to redo some things. And so that is being actively worked on by technical operations as we speak this week. And hopefully that will be turned over to customer service next week. Once that happens, then all construction as far as all construction as far as cable placement splicing is complete. But once that happens, hopefully by next week, then it's really, it doesn't matter of testing and certification, then everything should be turned over to customer service and marketing to get customers into service in those areas. So we're ahead of schedule, which is good. We were hoping to be a little further along than anticipated, but overall, the project kind of went seamlessly and flawlessly, especially during the time of COVID and all the procurement issues that the whole industry's been experiencing. So overall, the project went very smoothly. We did have one, I think it was, Kevin, you asked about on, I'm trying to think, what was the road you asked?
Fleece Bay.
Fleets
Fleet
Bay.
Bay. Okay, so now, before I had the address, I spoke with Breeze Line, and I kind of looked where they kind of stopped by Weems Road, Lob Valley Road area with the network now, and the address, I didn't have the address that you were inquiring about, so I gave them the addresses for the whole street. I'm looking at it, and they're actually going to do an investigation, turn to what they call the BAU, business as usual group, to see how much it would be to extend the fiber to the end of Breezy Point Lane. With the amount of customers they have there, they're going to do a little business case on that. However, Kevin, the address you gave me is right outside of where they stop.
Like it's literally one pole down and one driveway down.
Yeah, so it's a drop, and I think I'm just going to get that verified. That they should. I think they're just going to go ahead and install that customer and reach out to them. So.
All right. So should I go
But
back?
they are.
Should I go back to
Yeah,
that
they were.
person?
Well, yeah, they're going to reach out to I think they had. I gave them the address, and they're going to go send somebody out there to take a look at it. But I think they're going to actually take a look at what it would take to do the rest of Fleet Bay Road. And just complete that segment, seeing how they, built all the way out to practically, I think it's only a mile left of the road.
Yeah, and I think technically they stopped where the government road stopped. Does that make sense?
Well, they stopped where the Ardolph winter began.
I got you. The
So
sky.
they couldn't go beyond that point because the area past where they stopped was awarded in the Ardolph grant to a fixed wireless provider. So they couldn't use that funds to build out. But it doesn't mean they can't use their own internal funds to do that. So they're going to investigate that, do a business case to see how that goes.
All right.
So we'll hear back. Hopefully we'll hear back from you shortly. I'll let everybody know.
One other quick question while we're talking about APB. All right, so that $58K that we got, the bill from them, we approved that last year, right?
That invoice number 2.
Number 2.
That was from Breezeline, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all that funding has been approved, because I didn't want to sign the paperwork without making sure that we didn't have to vote on it first, but I thought that it had been approved with the lump sum last time, right?
But if it was, it should be.
No, I mean, I think I follow the same procedure as the first invoice. I put the, put the invoice with the support documentation and the payment authorization form, and then Don was approved. I think, I don't know if you were, Cassie signed off on the authorization, and then Don cut the check for, Don Wheel cut the check for the invoice and mailed it out.
I got you. What were you gonna say?
Well, there should be if we signed off on it, there should be a record of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just trying to see if there was he knew, oh yeah, that's part of the funds we originally approved. 'Cause it was a huge amount we originally approved, and it's only being spent in segments. I just wanted to leave anybody out. Does that make sense? So,
I think it's covered in the overall approval,
All right.
because then the county is actually making
the payment.
the payments
So they have a record of it.
themselves,
Yeah.
And so we've authorized the expenditure, and it's really the county that's making the expenditure.
Glenn?
I'm sorry, Mr. DeFreeze has got his hand raised. Do you want to recognize him again?
Yes, yeah. Mr.
Hello, hi.
Go ahead.
I had a quick question, Nick. Do you have any info on Breeze Line on Cox's Farm Road?
Cox Farms would be service.
Oh,
Give me 1 second. Conference Farm Road, I think came up in my,
This is,
I think that was turned over to,
That's
customer
AP.
service. So if you bear with me 1 second.
Okay.
That was, yeah, Breeze Line, and then they ran into APB. Didn't they run into APB's when? through
Well, they, it's kind of, the neighborhood's divided between Breeze Line and APB.
Right.
Yes, well, there, I think, if I remember correctly, Breeze Line's on one side of the road, APP's on the other.
Yeah,
so Ed, one thing I would recommend is that you go to the landcova-broadband.org website, and you'll see at the, on the homepage, it says urgent, feedback needed, and then there's a link you can click right next to it. That's gonna take you,
uh-huh,
take you to the provider, projects page of the LCBA website, and there
Mhm.
you can click on, you'll see where it tells you to click, and then put in your address.
yeah, are you speaking about Breeze Line or All Points?
Well, I'm telling you that this is just a general site now, because,
Oh,
okay, this is
what is
brand
that
new,
site?
just posted. You wanna go to the.
Oh, okay.
All right, landcova-broadband.org website. And at the
Okay,
top
yeah,
of the homepage,
I'll do that,
you'll
yeah.
see the urgent, and then click on that link. It'll take you to another page on our website, and then that will ask you to plug in your address, and you'll see
Uh-huh.
who's gonna be there. That'll answer the question
Oh.
that you're asking.
Yeah, I mean, I got a pretty good idea of where the Breeze Line and All Points areas are. I was just curious, because Breeze Line's made a lot of progress
Right.
down that road, and it looks like they're all set with cable, and I just was, and I know their contract was due to be completed sooner than All Points, and I wanted to tell the residents in the neighborhood, or give them an update on the Breeze Line part of it. That's why I asked.
Well,
Yeah,
one thing,
and I misspoke, and I apologize, I was talking about, a different Cove Road, that was released. But Cox Cove Road, it's kind of an odd because, APB has one side of the road, a certain area, and Breeze Line has the other. Breeze
Yeah.
Line cannot use VATI money, the state money or federal money, to serve customers that's not in their area. It doesn't mean that once the project is, built and set up, that they can't, if somebody from the other area, from the, APV area calls in and they're across the street, that they can't use their own internal phone.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, if I was across the street, I needed service, I think I would call up Breeze Line and try to give them service to my house.
I see. So, right,
You just can't do it with VATI funds, but once the network's built, the
Mhm.
network's, it's just they can't use it built specifically for someone like that.
but in terms of Breeze Line progress, there's no specific news for that Cox's Farm Road and Quarters Cove Drive, it sounds like.
Well, Quarters Cove Drive, that's the one I made a mistake on. That was just released last week to, for technical operations to sales and marketing, so that.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
good, I'll tell them. They'll be happy to hear that.
so that should be, so they should be they should be seeing, some Breeze Line people out there where the network is built, knocking on doors or putting on
Uh-huh.
doors.
Okay, thanks a lot. That's what I wanted to know. I'm going to leave the meeting. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for
You're
your
welcome,
interest in
and-
calling in.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, BTS.
BTS, the fixed wireless, we do have some increase in customers. We're up to 275 now. I believe that's 12 from the last time we met, which isn't much, I guess, in 2 months. But, we're kind of maybe plateauing there because Breeze Line in some certain areas, I'm sure Breeze Line's taking some of those customers that could have been potential BTS customers. I'm not sure. I'm speculating that may be part of the issue. But we are at 275 installed as of yesterday, and I have not received any complaints about any service. I don't know if anybody else has. So it seems like this, to me, the service has been kind of rock solid. People are pretty happy with it. It hasn't gone down, right? We're still at 275, so it's only grown. We haven't lost any customers.
Yeah, that's up 5 from November.
Yeah,
I think,
It was 270 the last time.
yeah, that's what I had in mind.
was it? Okay, I thought it was 12. I apologize.
Yeah.
I didn't, but it's, like I said, but it's not decreasing, right? So you would think
Yes.
as Breeze Line starts building out, there could be a chance of losing customers, and I don't, if they haven't,
No, and that's good.
and they do have a net gain, so, I think it's a positive, and,
No
I think the whole, that project is a very successful project,
Right. No complaints, that's positive.
yes.
Okay. Anything else, any other questions, comments from the authority members on APB, Breeze Line, or BTS? Okay, moving right along. On the administrative side, we have the meeting with the Board of Supervisors monthly on 26 January. Any volunteers to do the presentation? I know who the fallback is.
I think I can do it.
I'll
Let me
be
just,
traveling.
let me look.
Are you going to be in country or on the islands?
I'll be in Mexico.
Do you need a luggage assistant?
You may see my sister.
Oh, really?
Costa Rica, Mexico, and someplace else before they're back.
Oh.
They're
good
leaving
for-
Tuesday.
Do you know where in Mexico?
Ladies focus.
No, I'll ask her. I'll let you know.
Thursday, the 26th.
26, yes.
I can do that.
Okay, Michelle. If anything, as far as I know, I'll be here. If anything comes up, let me know, and I'll do it.
And I can probably back up too, because the only thing we got testing going, but it should be done by.
Okay. All right, thank you. On the 2023 schedule of regular meetings, as you can see from, what Nicholas has been telling us about how far Breeze Line is along, APB will be starting in, say, within 6 weeks or so. It's almost as if we're on autopilot, as long as there aren't any big issues. I would suggest that we consider meeting every other month instead of every month, with the exception of next month, because we have the annual meeting. But what is your view on starting every other month after February?
60 days is a long time for something to sit bad.
For what?
Something to sit bad, like something going on that we can't.
Oh,
Well-
but special meetings
Yeah,
should be
we'll do a
called at
special,
any
well, yeah,
time.
we won't let it just sit there. If some-
Nothing should sit.
72 hours before, just remember that.
For special meetings,
72 hours, I think it has to be presented to the public.
um,
I think it's for any meeting. You have to,
I think
oh,
that's,
somebody
Yeah, yeah.
notify them?
yeah,
Okay.
I
Right.
think it's Virginia State guidelines.
But that's easy enough, because
Yeah.
if there is something that needs to be addressed, I personally would like a heads up for time to be available, right? It'd be
Right.
difficult on less than 72 hours, so I think that's more than reasonable.
Yeah, and it may not be a Thursday, because of,
Right.
depending on what the issue
Well,
is.
special meeting, right, right.
A special meeting could be any day that we may need it. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Yeah, I agree with you. So unless we'll do special meetings as the need arises. Back to starting, we would skip March and go to April if we do every other month. But how do you feel about doing every other month?
I'm fine with that, because I think, but the main thing is to stay in communication. And Nicholas,
Absolutely.
If you see something that you think needs our attention, we'd want you to say, hey,
Yeah, of course.
we need to have a
Yeah.
meeting. Or if any of us see something that needs attention, then we need to make sure that,
Only
we
thing I'm
just
really getting from
schedule.
anybody is, hey, can you swing by my house and see if I got
If the cables are there and
Yeah.
so forth?
right, yeah.
Yeah,
No, and so as far as like the monthly reports to the Board of Supervisors, we'd have to let the Board of Supervisors know that
absolutely.
it will be a bi-monthly unless we have a
mm-hmm.
special meeting.
Yeah, we'll only do the monthly if we have the special to report out, or maybe we don't even have to report
Right.
at the monthly, but they'll know. Okay, any other comments about that proposal?
I just want to add, I think if as we start moving forward, if there is a need to start meeting every month, doesn't mean we can't change back.
Right.
Right. This is not in
And
conflict.
and I've experienced that in the past where we had, board meetings every month and we went to every 2 months. And then it was, a huge project going on and we had to go back to every month for a period of time.
No, I agree.
And it's easy to change, it's not a big deal, and, so, I think we'll see how it goes, and if we need to go every month, then,
We'll go.
it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And I mean, public company boards regulated by the Securities Exchange Commission only meet quarterly. So I was actually thinking quarterly, but every other month, beginning in
April.
April is fine with the exception of, is June 10th the second Thursday of?
We will find out.
I have my calendar open. June 10th is the second Saturday of that month.
So that means the Thursday before is the second Thursday?
Yes, ma'am,
Yes.
the 8th.
Okay, so I won't be there for that meeting. I'm just letting you know now.
You think so far ahead. You're good.
My daughter's getting married.
Well, you're putting that
I
ahead
know,
of us?
right?
That's a pretty good excuse.
Yeah.
Yes.
But otherwise, yeah, no, I make a motion that we change the regular meeting schedule to be every other month, beginning in,
Should we wait till after February's meeting? Or
Yeah.
at February's meeting?
that's
to
what I'm
make
saying,
that?
after,
No, I'm saying to make the motion.
No,
oh, no, we don't need
No,
to.
no,
All right.
We
Let's
know we're
just-
going to meet
We're
in
gonna say
February.
that the
Or just say
motion,
beginning.
it'll be every other month, beginning April,
Mm-hmm.
being the first month that we meet for regular meetings, every other month.
Right. We will meet in February for the annual.
Okay,
All right. She made the motion. Do I hear a second?
second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion is carried.
That's not in our bylaws, is it?
That
Well,
we
we have to have regular meetings
Yeah.
according to our bylaws.
No, I'm talking about does the bylaw state how often the regular
No.
meetings are? All right.
Just remember, we changed it from
I'm just trying
twice
to
a
make
month.
sure we.
Yeah, no,
You're
no,
our
no
conscience.
question.
Good. Okay, anything else at this point for open session?
Nope.
Okay, let me get my wording
It's
out.
in paper.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right, at this point, I'd like to adjourn from the open session to a closed session per 2.2-3711A29 to discuss contract issues. All in favor? Everybody's agreement? Okay.
Aye.
I don't have a closed session set up.
Well, Glenn will take you off and put you back on, whatever Glenn does.
He
He
sent
sent
the
the-
invite just before the start of this meeting. Can you
All right.
double check, Nicholas?
Oh, I think I have my picture too. Yes. Anybody want to take a break?